Hi, and welcome everybody. If you can hear me, just give me a little wave. That's great. That's great. I'm so excited here today to introduce everybody to what I think is a very, very unique webinar put on by New York State Parking Association, New York State Parking and Transportation Association. Welcome to our robotics seminar with 3 experts. I am not one of them. I am here to learn just as much as everybody else. So let me first quickly introduce our 3 panelists today. We have Rajiv Aswal. He is the CTO and Chief Technology Officer of Robotic Parking Systems out of Florida.
Hey.
Rajiv joined Robotic Systems in 2014. Rajiv is highly skilled in automation engineering, robotic technology with specific applications to the patented robotic parking systems technology for automatic parking garages. Welcome, Rajiv.
Hi, yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. To our lower left, George Wilkinson of American Car Lift. Give a wave, George, please. American Car Lift is one of the industry's highly trusted parking lift services centers in North America. George brings over 20 years experience in superior custom designs to accommodate any facility. ACL, or American Car Lift, originated in 2004 with a commitment to reshape the industry standards to exceed their customers' expectations. Welcome, George.
Thank you.
And last but not least, one of our dear members, Matthew Gaeta. I see him just about at every event we have. He's so committed. Matthew has over 50 years. Matt, you don't look that old. 50 years experience.
Yeah, I'm there.
With PF Parking, providing parking services in New York, New Jersey, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. PF Parking is an experienced parking management consulting firm whose mission it is to assist leading corporations, property owners, and facility managers. Thanks, guys, for joining us. I want to welcome our attendees. We will have plenty of time for Q&A, even if we have to go over on this. You just each answered a poll, and I see 46% of us are from college universities. That's really good to see. So as I said, I'm here to learn as well. And I think it'd be best to start off. We're just going to go round robin here. I'm going to ask George first. I'm going to say, when did robotic parking become a thing? It's like some people you mentioned it to that they don't know what you're talking about. And then those in the industry are excited by the future. So when did it become a thing, and why is it important?
You know, it started about 12 years ago as where they started getting into robotics. Back in Japan, I think it's been many years that it's been running. And it's just another move from traditional parking and valet into, just automated cars taking care of themselves and not, people being in there and, operators and people, valet and making things move.
Excellent. I'll go over to you, Matt, and just get your take on, when this became a thing, or, your take on robotic parking, just generally.
Well, we started looking at it about 15 years ago when it was introduced into the United States. We started getting more into it, looking at the cost of building it, the cost savings to operate it. There is a lot of cost savings, and there's a lot of good things about it. Security is a big thing today. Nobody handled your car. People complain about the cost of building these things, but they don't look at what the cost savings throughout the whole contract is going to be. Cost of insurance is extremely high. Savings, cost of labor. There's no labor to operate these garages. We put it in a 24-hour call center to accommodate people to meet the requirements of the city of New York, to do this here. So no, we don't have to have employees there. So in the long run, there's a lot of big cost savings and a lot of good ideas because nobody's handling your cars. People like it.
All right, so it's become a thing for cost savings, which with inflation, we certainly need to look into this. Rajiv, same question. When did, in your mind, robotic parking become a thing and why is it important?
Okay, now robotic parking was established back in 1994. So we are well over like 28 years of doing business in this. And as Mr. Matthew and George said, we already have several of the advantages of having a robotic parking. The biggest one is because the land is going less and less, and also it gives the premium valet services to the people where there is no valet, but there is a valet system which the robots give. Just enter to our Bay Area and that's it. You just leave your car, sensor scans it, the robots takes it, no theft, no vandalism, nothing, full secured. And it's 24/7 operational with every facilities. You can integrate it to an advanced technologies, and not like the traditional car garages where you need to upgrade the systems to other things. You can add on so many features like electric car charging stations, autonomous driving, autonomous parking inside. Everything you can do it. It's like payment systems, gateways, everything is just like it's an open system. You can go advance on it.
Excellent. I'll go back to George and for our attendees, if you want to start to put even now Q&A questions, we will definitely at the last 15 minutes probably of this start to address some of those questions. I know I have so many questions. George, can you talk about some specific maybe examples of robotic parking you've recently worked on or you might be working on in the future, in the near future, and what problem that might have solved?
Yeah, so there's a few different types of robotics. You get from a lift slide where it's a very semi-automated system where you still need like a attendant that would be part of it. And then you go from like you start with your standard parking structures, lifts, and then it goes to semi-automated, it's the lift slide. Then it goes to rack and rail, and also like the ones that you pull in right up at the top of the garage. It goes on the elevator, brings it down, turns around, and park the car on its spot. It's almost like a Rubik's Cube system where you can retrieve your car by different options like RFI card, or you can do it through the cell phone. This is the newest ones where you can actually call it with your cell phone, and your car will be ready when you are want to leave the garage. We have different types also with where you bring the car in and it will just store it on the rack itself, or where you would actually turn it around for you, bring it back on, and then from there you can go out and just drive out.
Matt, I'm going to jump over to you. Something you might have worked on in the past or might be working on in the future, a specific example of robotic parking, how it might have solved the problem, please.
Well, I mean, you look at right now, I'm looking at a location in Atlantic City. It's a hotel. They're looking to put it in because of the cost savings of the garage, the insurance of the garage. They're looking at taking their existing garage and converting it into a fully automated robotics garage. So there's a source of cost savings there because the building exists. They're looking at reduction in taxes, be able to operate the facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there's a lot there of what's going on in the industry. A lot of, like I say, a lot of people complain about the cost for the systems, but they're not looking at the whole picture of the systems. If you pick the right system, there are a lot of different options you can put on. There's options where you can actually call for the car, tell them that you want the car back at 12 o'clock, your car will be ready for you at 12 o'clock.
That's really cool. Really
cool. It's according to what we want to put into the system when we design it, which is very important to design it from the beginning. You can add on later, but it's there's a large cost effect to put it on later. So you want to program it the first time the right way.
Rajiv, something that you might be working on now, and maybe go a step further and tell us about the specific technologies that your company might be using to provide that solution. And are some of those solutions patented?
Okay, let me start from the past. So we already have a Guinness Book of World Record for the largest automated parking garage. So first we got it in Dubai for 1,400 car spaces, and then we broke our own record, and then we made a 2,400 car spaces in Kuwait. So right now it's functional. That's type of a hybrid system, which is like we incorporated automated parking garage inside a conventional type parking garage, and there is a middle, there is a conventional parking, and then it goes above and goes through the automated parking. Now, right now we are working on the a garage which will be coming up in Savannah, and that will be the second garage of us in US. First is in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is still operational, where it was done in year 2000. It was in news, it was in New York Post and all. So we are working on it right now, and our technologies, we use all of the advanced technologies, like I already told. For the payment systems and retrieval of the cars, we use a mobile app. You want to go touchless, we can give you a touchless parking, in the sense like you park your car and you come out to the kiosk. You have two options. You go through the kiosk or you go through your mobile app. You just scan a QR code which is in the kiosk and go right away, walking, you can park your car. Now, on top of that, for a retrieval process, we give you a vicinity of 500 yards. Whenever you approach to a 500 yards of our garage, you can retrieve your car. In the process, when you're coming, you're paying and all those things. While you're walking towards it, your car is already coming, which will save you the time. As soon as you reach to the garage, your car is right on the bay, which is being declared in the mobile app itself, that this bay your car will be. You just go there and right, your car is there. You save all of the time waiting, maybe, which is like, we give like less than 170 seconds, your car from the extreme. I'm talking about the world largest car parking, which we made from the extreme, the toppest and the extreme position to bring the car down 170 seconds. And it has been proven we are the fastest automated garage in the world as to the throughput, which is being certified by TUV.
How many
certificate?
Sorry to interrupt you.
Well,
How many, that system that you just described, how many cars is that servicing?
420 cars per bay, per hour.
And how many stories is that?
That one is 14 stories high.
So 420 cars in 14 stories. So it's not really taking,
420.
it's
Yeah.
not taking a lot of square footage, right? It's going
Yeah,
up.
it's not taking a lot. That
No.
is one of the things. So what we do is like we save at least a 50% or more of the space in the same footprint where the conventional parking or your ramp type parking is there. I think if you allow me, I can show you two
Sure.
slides very fastly.
Please. Yep.
Okay.
We've got some questions coming in as well.
Okay. I think you might be seeing it right now.
We see it. Yep.
Let me open. Okay, so it's basically how the automated parking looks like, and this is what you are seeing on the right hand side is our structure inside that biggest automated parking garage. You can see the floors there, the machines there, and all. Now, as I have explained already, it's the process. The car goes inside, goes in the first step is it will go and you have to park their car and come out. And then what we do is our robots take the car, rotate it in 180 degrees so that we give you car out in a driving out direction. Then all of the software now is taken care. So this is an operator-free garage. Software takes the consideration of a high car, a low car, a high frequency car, which we calculate like if the person is coming every day at the same time, living at the same time. So we calculate at least 30 days of frequency. And then our software itself integrates the algorithm, which says that, okay, fine, this car, it came at 8 o'clock, goes every day at 2 o'clock. Okay, let's park this car to somewhere in the extreme position. 1 o'clock, I will bring it down so that he or she can get it faster. Now we rotated 180 degree, decided high car, it has to go high car floor or low car floor. It goes to that floor and parked. The same way in the reverse order, it comes out in the bay A. Now there are so many ways you can do it. Like I'm showing here with the kiosk and with the mobile app, everything is there. It's already integrated. Now, what you can do is you can even add-ons to your car is a electric car charging station, which you can add on with the existing one. And I will tell you this, the garage which I was showing in Kuwait doesn't have electric car charging stations, but they have opted now, and we are upgrading the inside. Upgrading in the sense we have to just attach some of the cables and all those things to the structure, and we will be ready for the car chargings. Now you can even have a car wash inside, which is in our Dubai garage. It's an Emirate Financial Tower. Inside is actually a car wash inside it. So what you can do is when you park a car, you will be asked to an option like, you want a car wash? Yes. Okay, so you want a car wash while you retrieve it, or you want it to be washed and put it in a parking? It's up to you. So basically, this is asked because if you opted for that, I want a car to be washed when I will retrieve it, it will take a little bit time. So you need to wait for a little bit. The car will be washed, comes there. That's why I said it's a premium valet service, which will, you will feel like, yeah, okay, fine. First of all, the car is washed, your car was safe, no vandalism, nothing, and you get it in if it is washed early before, then you get it in under 3 minutes. Under 3 minutes is the maximum what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it's, if I take an average, it's around 75 seconds to 80 seconds. The cars comes to the Bay Area.
Incredible.
Now we can incorporate the storage spaces, the bins. As you can see, a container, a small container. You can even store that thing, and then you can put it inside the garage. And what we have done in the past is like we have put it in a plate itself. It is treated as a car. So you can bring it in the bay as a retrieval. You can store your items and you can again store it back. So it goes back there. So that is one of the things we have given. Now it doesn't stop there. We have integrated it. We call it as a case. Now we have a connected autonomous shared services and electric. So what we did, we partnered with Bosch, and we are designing and we are testing right now the autonomous cars parking in the automated robotic parking. So that is all done. We have a connectivity. We can talk to any of the platform with the open network or through other third-party integration. Then autonomous driving parking will be very easy. We can track it. Sharing communication exists, handle car sharing, fleet servicing. You can do anything with that thing. Electrification, you can integrate your car charging stations. We have a level 2 car charging stations like 7.8 to 9.6 kilowatt, which is like a level 2, and which can even park your car. Can charge your car a full blown like a Tesla Model Y, Model X. I'm giving an example in like 5 or 6 hours. So basically, it's a level 2 charger. Now talking about savings here. So we have done one study in a downtown. If you can see, there was 3 concrete garage with 1,000 spaces, green, red, and blue. Now, if we go with a robotic parking there, what we can do is this red and blue car parking is totally gone. It becomes an open green plaza and a carnival hotel of 400 rooms. You can make it. And on the left-hand side, you can make a 3,000 car space robotic parking garage. You get 3 times the parking space. You get a space, green space. You get your another building. You earn a lot of money on that one. The architects are so, when we see this thing, when the architects see this thing, they're blown off. Like, okay, fine. This is what we are missing right now in the downtowns. Basically, in US, it's so much congested. Now, this was the latest study we have done, and we are working with this client right now. You can see this is a downtown area, so much congested. There was 507 car spaces, 9 lanes.
Where is that, Rajiv? Where is that?
This is somewhere in the Hawaii. So, okay. So we are talking to these guys, and what we are doing is like we have proposed this model here. We can remove that whole building structure, and 750 car spaces can come there along with the building there. Now, so much of revenue with so much of the savings and all. Along with that, you can consider that your car has no scratches, no dent, no assault. People are safe because you don't have to walk in the ramp. And also you have a fear of like someone coming from the back can hit you, I don't know, like maybe someone is not in a good mood driving in the ramp and then can hit you.
That's only in New
No.
York City. That only happens in New York City.
No, it's basically, it's all going on everywhere,
Now, believe it or not, it happens all over.
I know it does. I know it does. I know
So,
it does.
yeah. So you don't have to search for a parkings. You don't have to walk. You don't have to think where I park my car. Oh, in many malls I have seen like there is a purple floor, there is a pink floor, there is a red floor, there is a blue floor. You don't have to remember those things. You don't have to take a picture of my, I'm in a 503, slot. I have parked there or something. You don't have to do it. You have just a vehicle ID and you have a mobile app in your hand, everything under your control. You just pay there, retrieve it. No worry, no vandalism. You put $100 bill in your dashboard, it will come back like that in the car because robot doesn't steal. So
Rajiv,
basically-
hold that thought for a second. Hold that thought. Keep it right there. I just want to keep going with some of the program. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Give me a second here. I think what's funny about what you presented so far is like we had this whole notion, what I've been hearing for the last 5 years is we're not going to have any cars. We're going to do automated cars. We're going to do Ubers. And this tells me we're just always going to have our cars. Americans love their cars. And it's just a matter of being efficient in parking them. But if you can hold that thought for a second, Rajiv, I want to go to George and ask him, and I know this varies widely based on the sort of features that Rajiv just pointed out, but the big elephant in the room is cost. Give me an idea of the range of cost of a robotic parking operation. We can all talk about that.
So right now you can look in between 25,000 a space to like 55,000 space. It depends on like, what you get into the system, how high you want to go. I mean, you can go past the 55,000, depends on how you decorate and how you, just do your bay that you go in, your entrance bay. You can make it look like a hotel entrance, or you can make it a standard box where it's just a, parking space.
And it also would depend, correct me if I'm wrong, on where you are, right? I mean,
Correct.
New York City as compared to rural Pennsylvania will be a world of difference, right?
Correct. And like even like say different like hospitals also, they would have more entrances to a garage, so you can retrieve more cars at the same time. Where if it's a condominium, they will have one entrance, put your car in, and it stores it away. There was another pretty interesting one in Taiwan and Japan. They have a lot of towers, automated towers, where it's 3 bays wide, but they go 15 stories, 20 stories high, and they'll take the platform, goes all the way up, put it on the side, bring it down. It's very fast, a very fast system. It's just right now in New York City, the height space is so much more valuable at the moment for condominiums than actual parking. So it hasn't changed over on that system yet. That would be a pretty cool thing to have in the city, though.
Absolutely. Matt, you want to talk about cost or anything related to that?
I mean, we took a piece of property in Tribeca that's worth a fortune. We actually put a 160-car automated garage in it. It's the largest one in New York City right now. The cost saving, it was very expensive to build only because in the area where it is in Tribeca, there was canals and all there. So we had to put double walls in, and we had to really build a waterproof bathtub in the system. But we actually went down 6 stories. We're getting 160 cars in a 100 by 100 square foot piece of property, and kept the value of the property for the condominiums on top, where we didn't lose any space. And with the height requirements that we were able to build, we were able to build all in condominiums. So the cost was high, but in Tribeca, we're selling the spots at a large amount. We do sell them and we do lease them.
You sell the actual space? Is that what I'm hearing? You sell the spaces?
We sell the space. Yes.
So it's not a
You
daily.
can buy a parking space as a condominium.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
would
then
it
you just pay a maintenance fee every month to operate it. But you own the parking space. We actually deed it to you.
what is that? I think for some people that might be around the state or even the nation at this point, what does something like that go for per month? Just give me an
It's
idea.
according to the area and it's according to the value of the property. It can go anywhere from 50,000 to 500,000 for a space. Right now, there's some spaces being sold in Brooklyn for about $75,000. There's a location in Queens that just opened. They're talking about selling the parking spaces and they're trying to decide what to put a price on it.
It's incredible.
And they're selling them as condominiums.
Rajiv, talk about maybe your most expensive project per space, if you will. I want to hear a number that gets us really.
Okay, really
Freaked out.
speaking, actually, I heard both of my friends here. Actually, comparing with them, if I see our robotic parking, it seems like we are a little cheaper with them in the sense that we go from 25,000 car spaces to around like 35 to 40,000 car spaces, depend on what technology you are going for. So basically, sometimes it starts from 22,000 cars per car spaces also. But it's again depends on the location, how much high you are going, how much footprint you have. Like in 2000, when we delivered this Hoboken garage, it's a fully automated 314 car space garage in 100 by 100 feet footprint with a 7-story high, 56 feet only. So this type of garage is given like, and if I give a Kuwait garage right now, which is the biggest one, which is like in 100 feet by 150 feet, and then it goes to the like 80 feet high. In the total, we're not talking about the hybrid in between. So basically, it comes around, if I say on an average $30,000 per space, we can provide this whole technology with an advanced things. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just think that's interesting because I know when you put all the bells and whistles, some of the attendees know we're in Port Jefferson. We just built a 44 space lot. It's a beautiful lot, but it's not robotic. And I would say it costs $40,000 a space. So it's going to be interesting, but I do believe the long-term effects or cost savings that Matthew was pointing out before make a lot of sense for certain areas. Suffice to say, in certain metropolitan areas that parking is expensive, mostly because of the land up front. Certainly in metropolitan New York, land cannot go less than, that's really what controls part of the cost per space. But I think it's interesting. What I'm hearing is nothing less than 25,000 a space. And I would think that something with a lot of bells and whistles could go upwards of $80,000, $90,000 a space.
Just to give you a fast idea, I built a 460 car garage at Kings County Hospital, which is a self-parking garage. And that cost me at that time, and we're looking at 10 years ago, $25,000 parking space to build.
Okay.
So, there's really not that much of a difference, but and New York City can become a lot more expensive only because cost of building in New York City.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to add in this one, like what I was talking about, 25 to 35,000. It was on a turnkey basis where everything is from our side, from the steel erection to machines and robots and all. Actually, we all build everything. Our software is built in-house. We don't outsource anything. Everything is in-house. We go with the top of the product lines. Before we were using like GE Fanuc. Now, then we went to control technique with more advanced in Bosch technologies. We are in a Bosch field right now. We use the Bosch products. Now, talking about the real cost, actually in our website also, we have given about the real cost. You can put your parking spaces in it and you can just calculate the costing around which will give you a best ballpark depending on what you are, how much land it is and all. It depends on factors, many factors. Now, I don't know if we have a 2 second, I can show you one more slide, which will just give you a little bit brief of.
Not yet, because I want to make it clear. This isn't really about the individual companies today. This is about like the industry and education. And I do want to say to the attendees that each of you will have your PDFs, your decks available. That's no question about that. but I want to keep it kind of generic so people really understand, including myself. I really want to understand this industry. Let me ask George, I'm going to go a little bit negative here. Is there any nightmare aspects to robotic parking, uncontrolled robots, or things that are negative about robotic parking that, you know, we haven't heard about?
So service-wise, and it's actually pretty funny, and on the garage Matthew was talking about in Tribeca. In the beginning, when we did the testing, we had a problem with one of the sensors, and it was actual cockroach that blocked the sensor. And you know, it kind of, you know, it's just something that you normally don't see or know about, but then, you know, we found out that that's actually you know, a rodent that blocked the actual sensor. The robotics is pretty self-sufficient. What we've noticed a lot is human error, where somebody will come and bring a shopping bag or something like that, put it on the side, forget about it there, and then the system doesn't want to move because there's something that's in the way of the, you know, the safety areas, the safety zones, because all the sensors are designed to protect the people from not, you know, being involved into the system, and the system not operating when somebody is around. So we have all these different safeties where, you know, they have to even go on a screen and, you know, say, okay, that the car is empty, there's nobody in the car, you know, the car's locked and it's in space. And then once that closed, the door closed, and then the machine takes the car and puts it away. So it's, you know, it's very safety orientated. Yes, if there's a power failure, you know, then
Sure.
system
Yeah, your
stops
system's
down.
down, right?
But normally, if we have a big you know, because a lot of people in the industry like that build buildings always ask, it's like, I go, so what happens if, you know, the power went out on the building and, you know, we have no power in the garage? Once that happens, there's much more worry about trying to get power in the building itself and worry about people in the building than retrieving a car at that specific time. So we never really have that, you know, issue come up again. That, you know, there's more priorities than the car coming out.
Good. Just a notice to our attendees, please keep asking questions. You can do it through the Q&A button, or I'll bring you in live. We're going to start questions at 1:40 probably, because I think there's going to be a lot of questions here, and you can ask any panelist you want a question. So that's another 5 minutes. We're going to be asking questions either by typing them in. I already have one that I'll be asking soon, or we'll bring you in live. Over to Matt or Rajiv, or both of you. Talk to me about the future of robotic parking. I'll start with you, Rajiv. What do you dream about at night? What do you want to see in robotic parking, or what do people long for in terms of features in robotic parking? And with that question, I take an atmosphere or a demographic, like we're a small village here. There's been talk about putting robotic parking here, and it would really, really help us. But I have this feeling that it would be very industrial for us. So I'd like to hear your opinion on that. Both of you, start with Rajiv.
Okay. Robotic parking is, of course, a future. And I'm saying it because the land is going scared, you know, that there are very less lands and all. And also the developers, what they do is they want to give less lands to the parking, then they want to develop the, you know, the residential area where the money comes to them. So now, talking about the automated parking or robotic parking, you know, in coming futures, like I was talking about the EV charging stations, of course, I think we are looking on 2030, where we almost 80% of the cars will be electric vehicles, as we are going forward right now like this. Then autonomous driving, which is already in many of the cities, you can see the autonomous taxis are already there. Now, the biggest problem for those taxis is where to park them. Now, when they're parking, and they basically use the electric car, the most of the fleet use the electric cars. Now, where to charge, where to park? Now, there should be a garages for that thing. And a conventional garage cannot fulfill that requirement. So what happens is the automated cars should park in automated cars would park in an automated garage. That is the best combination now. It is autonomous. That's what we are looking in the future right now. And then we are developing smart cities now. So the cities become smarter and smarter. And when you will have a smart cities and you have a conventional parking, that doesn't go, side by side. So you should have something like an automated garage, which you can upgrade based on whatever the needs at the smart city. And already robotic parking is on that level that it is perfectly, it perfectly fits the smart city concept. It has everything. You can do it. Now with the backup generator, just I was hearing Mr. George here. So for the power requirement, our software is designed in such a way that we have a 50% backup generator always there. If there is a power failure and the generator is on, what our software does it uses the half of the machines. Half of the machine goes in a standby and half of the machines are used to retrieve the car in that situation. If someone has to retrieve a car, of course, the throughput goes almost half. Like if I say 420 cars per hour per gate, it will be like 200 cars per hour per gate, but it will not be that bad with the backup generators on, which is 50% capacity. And we usually put that thing in our turnkey projects. We always say either you buy it or we can buy it and we can put it. Our software is designed in such a way that it will take the 50% load at the time. As soon as it sees the generator is on, it goes to that thing.
Good.
That's what we are looking on the future.
Okay, Matt, quickly, please. We're doing great. Thank you. Just trying to keep on time. Matt, give me your wish list or something that you see that's exciting in the future of robotic parking.
Well, I really think it's going to be the garages of the now and the future, only because the cost of property is so expensive, like everybody has pointed out. To build these things, when we're in the process right now of retrofitting the garage for EV charging, we're taking 50% of the garage and converting it to EV charging. Because that's part of the future to keep moving on. Eventually, in New York, at least there'll always be parking. And then a lot of people don't realize, when they talk about power failures, right now, if most of the garages in New York City are operated by elevators, if there's a power failure, probably 80% of the garages won't have backup power. So it's no different than what's going on now. And the priority is not going to be to get your car out, it's going to be to get the power back on. There are requirements in a lot of new garages being built in New York City with self-parking that they need backup generators. But that's mainly in a self-parking garage.
Gotcha.
And that's only in certain areas, hospitals, municipal buildings, and that type that are requiring generators to be installed. But anywhere else in New York City, it's not being installed. It'd probably be a good idea to have them in there, but you really don't have the facilities to put it in there either.
Yeah, the environment, doesn't allow, like, especially in the city itself, to have generators more outside of the city, that's more space and where they can, facilitate a generator. Then they can have it. Some has on top of the building, but very likely in the city itself.
Yep, that may change with electrical power batteries, coming up in technology. That may change.
Right.
Guys, I just put a poll up. I can't say this is unexpected, but 70% of you have never, included myself, never used robotic parking. So that's pretty exciting because that tells me, that adoption has to go up by definition.
Well, I think those numbers are like that because there's really not that many around yet. It's becoming popular. Like I say, there's a new one that was just built in Queens. It's the first one in Queens. Manhattan, all of Manhattan, I believe, only has about 4 garages that are fully automated garages. There's not that many. There's not that many around yet. People are still afraid of them. They really shouldn't be. Because it is the thing of the future and it's going to be around for a long time.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to end this poll. Again, I'm going to make we're right on time, which is always good. I'm going to allow participants to come in live. You can raise your hand and you can ask the question that you've already asked, or I'll ask it for you. So if I see hands raised, I'll bring you in. Otherwise, I'm going to start with our first question. And I would say, since I don't know who the question's going to, just try to divvy it up between you guys. First question, there is some folks attending, as I told you, over 40% from the college and universities. And the question is, are there any institutions domestically or internationally that are pursuing this type of technology? So colleges or institutions of higher education, does one exist, or is any institutions pursuing the technology?
Well, I don't know of any in the New York area that are, only because there's most of the college institutes do have enough property yet, and there's still a lot of property on their campuses for parking. And they're not really looking at it. But, you know, you're going to probably see in the near future, a lot of these small campuses, they're going to be looking for it. I was just looking at some garages in Pennsylvania where they were interested in it because their campus is small. You know, so, you know, it's according to the area, and I think you'll see more areas looking for robotics garages because they're going to realize they need their campus for other reasons.
Anybody else on the call, panelists that have
Yeah.
experience with higher education installing?
So not in the direct way, actually, we got the student from the University of South Florida, visited our facility here. So what happened is, in their project, they were given that, is there something you want to change in USF, University of South Florida, which you can think that make this university much better place for education and living and all. So many of the guys, they opted for a robotic parking garage in the university. So they did a big research on that one, and they came here, and then we showed them the facility. We have a demo facility here in Clearwater. So we showed them the real car going in and out, and they were pretty excited. Well, we asked them, like, why you feel like it should be in the university of inside the university. They say there are a lot of cases where in the night, you know, there is a problem with the students when they park it. It's basically, sometimes it's dark, sometimes there are a lot of other kids. You don't know what is the mentality of others, and there is harassments and all going on, not much, but they said that will make it much safer, and they don't have to worry about their cars when they are in their hostels, that they are parked there, or, you know, someone is vandalizing or something. Or maybe, you know, some of the students just plays a prank and do something in their car, you know, put a sticker or something. So that makes, you know, the whole day bad. So they did that thing, but not directly on a higher education. Yes, but I would recommend that this should go in a higher education. That is a good question, actually. It should go in some mainstream.
All right, let me go to George. Thank you, Rajiv. Let me go to George on this. Very curious to know about the life cycle of the equipment. Regular maintenance practices of robotics to extend the life of the machinery. Good question.
So the lifespan, it all depends on the, you know, the operators or the owners of the system, right? So when you purchase a system, your maintenance is one of your most key parts of your system. You always have to be on top of maintenance. If you lack on maintenance, your system can run 10 years. Even less, because you always have to be on top of cleaning sensors, you know, making sure that the rails are, you know, running properly, you know, the wheels and all the moving parts, that it is, you know, in a good function mode. It's once they neglect the maintenance of it. There was a garage up in Long Island, I believe, that went south because they just didn't you know, maintain it properly, and eventually you get stuck, and people's cars get stuck. People get aware of that, and then, you know, it becomes a place where people say, hey, don't park there because your car's going to be stuck there. And that there is a negative part, you know, going towards the robotics, but maintenance on it is so key.
All right, next question. Great question from our friends at Stony Brook University. And this is a question I really need answered. In our village on a Friday night, we have a plethora of people coming into town, and we were worried about this. And George Voles answers, how quickly can patrons enter or leave the garage? Is queuing a concern during high demand times? Rajiv.
Okay, in order to answer this thing, actually, we have a very smart software inbuilt in it. So what it does, the terminals which we call an entry and exit, it can be programmed as entry and exit at the same time, software defined it. So I will give you an example in a stadium, let's say in a football stadium or a soccer stadium, if there are 10 gates for an automated parking garage. So once the soccer game starts, so people started coming in, right? So all the 10 gates will be dedicated as an entry gate. So what software detects it, we have a radar sensors all over the garage. So it detects it, there is a long queue. Let's convert all of the gates to the entry. So all of the gates are entry. Let's say in the same process, someone says, oh no, I'm not feeling well, I'm going out. Now what it does, it like, okay, it will, once the retrieval start, it will keep on taking the car from 10 gate, but as soon as that car comes down in the ground floor, what it does, it converts the entry gate to an exit gate as soon as it is empty, and it keeps the car back. Now the same plate is used again to get the new car, so it becomes entry. So the 10 gates are entry. Now when the match is over, so what happens is all of the terminals become exit. So it is all software defined. It just changes that mode from entry to exit, and all of the gates started making only exits. So it makes the throughput much higher, and it's like a proven process what we have done, and we will be implementing this in the other biggest garage which is coming up, and it's a court building. It's a world biggest court building with the world largest garage on it, and it will be doing the same process. In the morning, people will be coming, so it has to be like that, and when evening the people are going, it has to do like that.
So Kevin, also just to answer another question, there is, once they say is like, if it gets so congested, it also depends on your design of your garage. If you have a smaller building, you only have one entrance, obviously your timing would be much longer because you only have one entrance, enter and exit point. So it's got to do a lot about the design of your garage. So if you build a new building, the more entrances you have, the quicker retrievals you will have. But if it's an entrance and you have a long way before it comes to the garage, obviously you have to configure all that timing in. There's a garage in Miami that we are working on, and some of the retrieval is 10 minutes because of it's just the way of the design of the garage.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the design.
Yeah, in most colleges, municipalities, you have your days where it's heavy traffic. Unfortunately, the cost to build a garage for heavy traffic is a lot more expensive than a lot of these small towns could afford to build. And you don't have the property to build a garage with 10 bays in.
Yep.
The average garage that you're looking at is probably 4 to 6 bays a maximum in a lot of these areas. They're not building 10 days. If you're building a garage, an automated garage or an event stadium, yeah, you're going to put a lot of bays in because it's only used at certain times for the events. It's not used for everything. And it's not used for anything but the events. So, you really have to look at the space that you do have and what the garage is really going to be used for. A lot of the townships need parking space because they don't have it. And they only run these events, 2 days a week where they're really busy. So you're not going to put in an oversized garage for 2 days. I mean, you have to look at that also.
Okay.
The design of the garage is very important.
Let me keep it rolling. Thank you, Matthew. George, hopefully that answered your question, but I'll say this. We have days here in Port Jefferson where people are circling for 35 minutes. So retrieving a car back in 10 minutes beats that any day. We have 8 minutes left. I want to get to everybody's question. So we're going to keep it to one answer. Anybody that can answer this one answer, please. How many robotic facilities exist in the US approximately? How many do you think exist in the United States right now? Under 100? I don't know, under 50?
Definitely under 100.
Yeah, I would say under 100.
Incredible.
There's a lot out there.
Okay, so that's an upside. All right, maybe that's the industry I'll go to once I finish my stint here. I like this industry. I like an industry that's not full. Scott Ashley asked, what is the life expectancy consistency of a fully automated system?
It could be very long, depends on your maintenance on it.
Okay, I mean, do we have 30 years? And if so, is it
Oh,
depreciated?
30 plus, definitely.
Yeah, 30 to 35 years for us. If
Good.
it's a very regular maintenance garage. So we also have a maintenance schedule integrated in the software itself, which always pops up and says, okay, this machine need maintenance after certain cycles. So it just changes the color in the screen itself and start blinking. So the operator can take that to the maintenance bay and do a regular maintenance.
Kevin, if it's indoors, it's always lasts much longer than outdoors. Outdoors
Yes.
lasts long.
Just the elements, right? The elements
the
alone.
in the Northeast, the platforms you have to change out much more often because of the salt and the chemicals they use on the roads during the winter months, because that just eats the metal. So that's something that you change much more frequently than the actual structure of the robotics.
Good. We have a comment from David Vanderwall. Hello, David. How are you? Hope to see you again soon. And I agree with this statement just from what I know on costs here in the Northeast. Dave says installation labor in New York City and Boston have not seen equipment. It's equipment only come in at an install cost of less than $60,000 per space inside owner's building. I have no trouble believing that, but I can still see where that would be worth it, honestly, in congested areas.
Well, if you look at it, a self-parking garage right now, the cost to build a self-parking garage is roughly about $28,000 to $30,000 a parking space right now.
Yep.
So you're not talking that much more for an automated garage. That's probably going to last longer than a self-parking garage.
Yep. All right, we have one more question. Again, I'm going to ask attendees, if you want to come in live, say hello to us, ask questions live. You can do that by raising your hand. My last text question is, what is the single most item that facility owners should focus on when implementing robotics in their facility? What is the single most, I guess, important item that facility owners should focus on when implementing robotics in their facility? We'll go round robin on that.
Design would be number one, I would say. Make your garage, functional garage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
same
said
with
design
me
was
is
important.
like maximum spaces in a less footprint, maximize profits from that.
Yeah. Use your design to maximize profits.
Yes,
I would say
automated garage, robotic parking garages, they take less than 50% space of the conventional parkings. So you can use that land which you are saving, you can use it for some of the development, which you can earn money, and then it looks and the outside facade and all those things that can be aesthetics with the the building or the tower. So it looks much better than the conventional one where you have the ramps and lift, and then you have a sound of the cars going in the ramps, that cranking sound going up, that all will be saved. So yeah, there's this basically it's all profits, maximizing your profit, utility of the land in something else.
Spoken like a true capitalist. Spoken like a true capitalist.
See, everything
you
is
gotta put a few million dollars
for
into
saving
it. Yeah.
and earning, man.
Absolutely. Okay, any more questions, either live or not? We're coming upon about 3 minutes left. I love being on time, if possible. I'm going to launch a little thing here and a poll. We can answer that as we say goodbye to you today, but we can do 1 or 2 more questions for sure. Thank you for those high ratings. I appreciate that. New York State Parking Association appreciates your presence today. We hope that this topic was unique, valuable. Feel free to send us an email after. We will put on the Facebook page and the LinkedIn page each of these vendors, which we appreciate your time today, right in the middle of the day. Thank you so much. And any parting remarks from all 3 of you right now? Rajiv first.
It was wonderful talking to all and getting more idea and letting you know what basically we provide and all. It was, I learned a lot actually from George and Matthew also.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
George, any parting words?
You know what, it's a new industry, and it's a thing that, you know what, we gotta just, you know, keep pushing and, you know, make it better and better, and have more of them in the cities.
Yes.
You know, that's just something that we really have to work on. I mean, just a quick thing was with the traditional lifts 10 years or 10, 12, maybe 15 years ago, it wasn't very popular. Then developers started learning, you know, lifts became a very popular thing to do. And now it's kind of moving up to like semi-automated and automated. So eventually we'll be all automated, will be great.
Excellent. Matt, any parting words?
Well,
And-
first of all, I want to thank you for putting on this seminar. I think it was very good to inform people of what's going on in the industry. And the New York Parking Association does try staying on top of it. You know, the big thing is now we have to educate a lot of the building owners and landowners of what the real cost savings are of automated garages. Right now, they don't believe there's cost savings because they get the pricing, but they don't realize, you know, operating in New York City with an automated garage, I see the cost savings. There's a big cost savings in insurance. There's a big cost savings in labor. There's a cost savings in taxes, mainly because I'm able to get a lot more cars on a piece of property, of not just having it as a parking garage, but to continue operating it as a parking garage and a condominium, which is a lot of big cost savings. A 160 car garage in New York City, taxes by itself is high. You know, I'm paying a third of that in taxes. Insurance is so cheap. I'm insuring the garage for under $20,000 a year for just garage keeper legal liability. You know, because there's nobody in there. There's nobody touching the cars. The insurance companies like it. So, you know, I think we have to educate people that there is a big cost savings in it, and it's a thing of the future.
Absolutely. Well, I think this was a win-win for everybody. We are right on time. It's what I try to do. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I think you know how to get a hold of me if you have questions or you need to connect with any one of these vendors. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Go have lunch if you haven't had it already. Thanks again. New York State
Thank you.
Parking and Transportation, signing off.
Thank you.
Thanks.